Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Ariel Salazar, and welcome to the Dabble and Babble podcast. Hopefully, this will be the last one that is recorded with this terrible, terrible mic. I told you before, and again, I have to say, very sorry. This is just a Call of Duty mic. I say Call of Duty as in it comes from Turtle Beach microphone because I didn't have anything else. But I hope I found like a USB microphone on Amazon that I hope to convince my parents to let me buy, and yeah, just hope it's not a shit in the future. I'm leaning down, so hopefully it sounds better, which is giving me severe back pain already. This is gonna be a great hour. So yeah, I'm just home alone on the day I should upload this. Recorded on the 24th because I'm terrible at pre-planning, and my whiteboard's up. And yeah, let's see, what should I talk about? Well, school's coming around. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'll save that for the next one when I have a better audio. But what I can talk about is in the dog days of summer, my experiences. Had a great trip. Two things really to talk about. A cousin from Costa Rica came over, which was nice. And a last internship. As you know, I went to the Faith Foundation thing, which was cool. But I got another one, PBS station. Let me talk about my cousin first. Yeah, she's from Costa Rica, and I had to go to the airport at like 3 in the goddamn morning, and we left at like the sun was rising basically, which was terrible. It was awful, really bad. Like we went to the airport, okay, and if you're always go to airports, it's like always fucking crowded. It's even weirder when there's no one there. Like it's just so much like dead space, and it's just so white, and it feels weird, okay? And like when you go upstairs, like where people come off the planes, or you go to like get on a plane, like half that shit's just cut off, and like it's just like people only receiving, like no one goes out. It's like besides like one gate. It's weird. So anyways, we go there, we find the plane. We don't know where the fuck she's coming from. So we spent like basically the first hour. We get there early to figure out like where we're going. We just spent it all trying to find like where she's coming from. And eventually we just sat at the luggage claims like, oh, I mean, she has to come here out of all places. They're the only one that's operating, so she has to come here. And let alone she did. And they didn't give us her bag. Her bag was not on the carousel, so I was just sitting. By the way, she speaks no English, so she's just talking with my father, me and my brother, who was there as well, just kind of standing around talking to, like looking around. Uh, we just look making fun of everyone else's packaging in the fucking carriage carousel. Like there was a baby seat in there. Who brings a baby seat? Like how expensive are baby seats? From Texas, she was like coming in from like Costa Rica to Texas to Pennsylvania. So this plane is coming from Texas. What place are you coming from where you need to bring a baby seat? Like I don't know. That does seem weird. Also, some really obnoxious pink luggage. Like not pink as in the color. There was pink as in the color, but pink as in the brand. It was also bedazzled, and so we're just looking for either the Big Bang Chicks from White Chicks, that terrible movie, or just an effeminate man. We were looking around for that. We didn't see it, and eventually we had to wait around also as well, because since it wasn't in the carousel, we had to like go to like the help station where they just had like it was just like a desk, and I'm saying a lot. I fucking hate myself for that. You can tell how not prepared I am for this. But yeah, it was a desk. You just go in, wait, and I guess they just flag shit that seems suspicious, and you have to go in there. Like they're not. The carousel and this place is like right next to each other. Okay, that's what confuses me. So if something was suspicious, like a bomb per se, wouldn't they be able to detonate it and still cause massive havoc? And this is like 3 in the morning. No one's around. Like who's gonna commit a terrorist attack? Okay. I don't know. Anyways, or like pass drugs. Anyways, yeah, we get her bag, her big old bag, and it's wrapped. Well, for I mentioned drugs, it was wrapped up like she was like planning to float cocaine across the Mexican River. Like it was wrapped up in blue plastic wrap, and so like, I don't know why. Like she wasn't carrying anything that couldn't get wet, and she was traveling over one of the driest countries on earth. So yeah, that was terrible. Drive back. Also, it took like it's like an hour and a half. I'm not exaggerating. An hour and a half drive to get to the big airport in New Jersey from our home, which was, oh my god. Anyways, yeah, that happened. And so what did we do? We went to a soccer game, with Juventus versus another fucking thing. I don't follow soccer. It was nice. It was raining as hell, but it was nice. Let me say, the cheap seats in any arena are the greatest seats ever. Because one, you can actually see what the fuck's going on. I don't care about like being able to see the people's names. I don't need to because I don't follow that, so I can just see the game perfectly fine from cheap seats. And also, if you go to stadium like I did, we went to Philadelphia, where the Eagles play and all that. And since it was raining, we got to move, cheap seats. We got to move up to where we actually were covered, so we didn't have to. It was because it was pouring rain, like it was real bad in the beginning hours. Like it was real bad. Eventually it lined up like during the game, but before it was raining real bad, and so we got to move under that weird like hat like edge dome thing where we actually were covered. We were like on the edge of it, so like we got the row in front of us was basically getting rained on. It's hilarious. But yeah, we watched that game. We did that, and after that, we did nothing of note with her because I didn't talk to her that much because I can't speak Spanish. My brother can speak slightly Spanish, so he had a much better time with her. The only thing I really know that involves me is that we went to this place called the Sands, which is like a casino restaurant area that's like super always full of Asian people for some reason, like old Asian people. Which is probably because apparently this is getting ahead of the story, but I know this information because of my later story. But yes, basically, apparently there's a busing company that like goes from New York to here, and like they have a voucher for if you ride this bus, you ride this voucher, you have a voucher like $15. So you can make $15 from riding a bus. And so apparently, what people from New York do, apparently these old Asian people, and I'm not joking, it is literally just old Asian people. Like we have an area of this, famous steel sacks in Bethlehem, steel and all that, and around a certain hour, it's just full of old Asian people just like bumming around. Like they smoking, they're doing like some women do stretches, some men are just talking. They have it's weird. Like I'm not trying to make a point like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's weird that it's a weird thing you notice if you're around this area. But that's because they get a voucher for $15. And when these people I assume are retired and have nothing to do with their lives because they're old and probably live alone and you can't work. Just they've been married for 50 years. Like they got nothing else to go on in life, so they might as well like go to this trip several times, go to the casino, go to the nickel slots, and so yeah. So that's the area, casino, and also apparently the hotel nearby is like a big Chinese thing. I'm not sure. That someone else told me about. I didn't see it, but I guess it's just a big hangout. It also has like Penn and Teller come there, different comedians and musical artists. It's a big thing, casino hotel area with a bunch of restaurants and stuff. And before we went there, I went to my Faye Foundation graduation, where like you give a certificate and they give you a check for $400. We didn't. What she told us is that some grants for like because at the end of internship, it's like a paid internship, but not in the way you think. Like the employer doesn't pay you; they pay you. You get $400. Basically, what happened was we went there. You get your check, and it's only for $200. And so I email her saying like, "What that? Did I do something wrong? Did I forget to like uh, turn in something? Like we had a writing project and all that." So I thought, "Oh, I forgot to turn something in." And while I emailed her, she like, "Oh, we just gave half now and half later, because you don't want checks to bounce. It's government money, so already it's like wrapped up in a hurricane of bullshit." Okay, that's so I understand that. Like, oh, it's gonna get at you in the month after or so. Hasn't come yet. So still waiting on that. Anyways, yeah. So I went there before that. So before we go into the casino area, we just went to that graduation because I guess they had nothing else better to do. She couldn't understand it because she doesn't understand English. See, I felt bad for her. because there's just people milling around talking about inspirational stuff to the youngins, me, the future of the country. And after that, I went to Thames Casino. I was tired because I had to sit around and listen to people I don't care about. And I'm not trying to sound negative. It's just that it was a thing I said I've heard multiple times already. Mostly because I'm part FBLA, and they have like in a special events where they go to different places. Like we go to Kalahari. It's just like workshops and workshops of people saying the same thing, like giving actual like legitimate advice. It's just like inspirational. Like I get the spiel already. Okay, tell me how to do my taxes. I had people tell me the same thing and tell me how to tell me how to work Google Excel. Okay, you're not special. Anyways, yeah, they're actually good speakers. I'm just being facetious. It's fine. I liked it. And so after that, a bit tired because I had to dress up. I'm in a tie that's too tight. And we go to this casino place, to get her a bunch of clothing, as she's from Costa Rica, and I guess just she needs clothing. And so we buy her all that. And while I'm in the area, I'm still in my slacks, dress shoes, dress shirt, and tie because I can't change. I didn't know we were going to the casino place, so I didn't account for a change of clothes. So I'm just standing around, waiting because I'm not interested in it. Like I probably can't understand what she's saying. I'm not gonna go shopping. I hate shopping as it is in English, for Christ's sake. So I'm just standing around in the store, waiting to go home and change. And I got mistaken for an employee 3 different times. The first time was understandable because we were in like a dressy place, like you buy like shirts and like dresses and whatnot. So it was understandable. I was in a dress suit and tie. I had to wear a name tag in the graduation for some reason. I don't know why. I just had a name tag, so I didn't take it off. And so older woman came up to me saying like I was wearing my headphones. I was like listening to music, in my own mind, listening to a podcast and whatnot, just in my own head. And someone was asking me like, "Hey, can you unlock the dressing room? Can you?" And like incredibly louder. I don't want to yell because this microphone's terrible and probably sound awful. But can you unlock the dressing room? And like after I realize what she's saying and I take my headphones off and try to clear it up, she's like scolds me saying like jokingly like, "Oh, you should really listen to the customers. You shouldn't be milling around." It's like I don't work here, lady. Okay, I'm sorry. Like she said it in a joking way, like as if she wasn't acting like scolding me. But like I just felt so awful. Like I don't work here, lady. This is not my responsibility. Okay, I'm just trying to wait around for other people to work. Okay. And she's like, "Oh, sorry, like, because you were dressed up and whatnot. I had a name tag." It's like, "Ah, crap." So I took that off, and then we go to a sports store next, I believe. Get recognized there as well. A sports store. I'm okay. I'm not that tall. Okay, I have facial hair. It's not that good. Okay, I'll first admit it's not good facial hair. Okay, so I don't know how I look like an adult or just a person who works there. But apparently, I'm just an adult, and like 2 people in that same store come to me and saying like, "Hey, can you help me with something?" It's like, "No, I cannot. I have headphones on. What kind of employee will wear headphones? Like, I don't get it. They're not hard. I'm not wearing earbuds. I'm wearing like full blown headphones. Like they're red. They shine in the light. I don't know why people think I work the places just because I wear a suit and tie. Well, not a suit, just a dress shirt and tie and slacks, for Christ's sake. So eventually, I just had to wait just around. I can't even be around my parents or my cousin. I just had to wait outside the store by myself, just looking down for like an hour or so because I can't decide what to wear. Because I guess kind of important what you take back to your country after meeting your cousin after so long. I can't even be around for that. So I'm just waiting around doing God knows what, and just it's. After that, we got cannolis, and I felt better about myself after that. Yeah, if the mic seems weird, I'm moving around to get comfortable because I don't want to bend down and be a hunchback, but I guess I'm going to do that now. I'm trying like the desk isn't high enough to reach my mouth level, so I don't want to have to speak louder and louder. So I'm like kneeling on the ground, I'm like going to the side, like taking 1 knee, then 2, and then like putting my arms over the desk. It's just it's not a good time right now. It is not a good time. Why am I doing this? Promise myself two times a week. So yeah, that was my cousin. Nothing of note to really say. I'm sorry I'm boring all of you. I should have started with the PBS stuff. So yeah, I went to work for PBS station. PBS station 39 to be exact. I did that. It was fun. Let me tell you about it. Okay, so this also relates to Faye. So in when we were in the still in the college the week at college or one actually no. After we worked on 2 Fridays in the 4 weeks we were working, we had a field trip basically. And one was to PBS and one was to Olympus, which makes I think everyone knows who a PBS station is. Olympus is they make medical equipment and cameras for camera lenses, so that's what they do. But anyways, this is about PBS. So when in Faith Foundation, we went to PBS station. Basically, what we did there was they toured us around the studio, the area, basically the whole place, and they had us do a little group project where we had to make a small commercial with a Sesame Street character and a bottle of shampoo. That was our thing. We had that new fairy that I didn't know about. That weird fairy that apparently speaks Spanish, I guess. And we just had to sell our shampoo. I was in that trip. I was the I thought we had it's weirdly segmented. One of us had to be a writer, and one of us had to be the on person. One of us had to be the teleprompter. No one. It felt like no one could do the other job, and I was grouped again. For some reason, this always happens. I'm always grouped up with it. I always find myself in a group of entirely girls who know each other already. Without fail. Okay, I'm already abrasive as it is. I don't need to be put in a group of girls who already know each other. Okay, especially those high pitched girls that always are oh my god, are you serious? That's crazy. Well, always talk about boy troubles and whatnot, and they're oh god, this is the worst people to work with, especially for me. These are the exact opposite of my personality. This cannot be well. And I basically ended up being the person who talked because I'm the only one who actually has this. Because they always talk so bloody loudly, and they always act upfront, but they never want to be in camera or whatnot, just because they're nervous and whatnot. I don't know. I'm just a weirdo who actually volunteers to speak in some places. I don't know why, but that how the card folded. One of them spilled load. First of all, I don't know whether I need to be dressed up or not, and so I came in the dresser and slacks. I had to tie my pocket just in case. And so when they told us what we were doing, because we didn't know what we were gonna do a commercial, I immediately pulled my tie on and said I came prepared for this shit. I was laughing to myself oh my god, I'm gonna look like a newscaster. This is amazing. So I think that's partly why I also got selected as just the guy who speaks. But also when in this nice cactus and whatnot, someone spills the girls are annoying as always, and they're making me smell this shampoo and they're not focusing on what they're supposed to do. And so I'm just playing my usual shtick in this situation, just not saying anything and always being condescending. Just always saying some random stuff no one really cares or knows what I'm talking about, which is normal anyway. So I'm just doing that because I just tell them I'm saying whatever you tell them to say. I'm not going to contribute because I'm already deflated at this point. Okay, I don't care about this character. I have an idea for the soap, but they're not going to listen. So what's even the point? That's a really bad thing about me. I always get dejected when I don't feel like I'm being heard, or I can't contribute. And so I immediately just cut myself off from the entire process, which is probably a bad thing. I get really demotivated super easily, and then get super motivated out of the blue. Very weird thing about me. So yeah, I'm doing that shtick of just not caring and just being an a-hole, just the silent a-hole which says depressing stuff in classroom. I'm being that guy. And she freaking she's puffing air at me to smell that I'm saying nothing, and she just spills it all over my pants. It's not all over, but enough splash to where I it wasn't a big deal. Okay, it was just it's soap. Okay, I can wash it off easily. It's meant to do that. Okay, it's not supposed to. It's like ketchup. Okay, it's not gonna stay close. In that moment, I was angry because I was already dejected by working with these people. I already don't care about this project, and I don't like them already. Okay, So I'm already like madder than I should be because I just not in a good situation. So I storm off, curse them out to the person, like the handler shows me to like they have a green room, where people who the interview go to. They take me to that room, like get me to wash off my pants. It looks like I pissed myself, and it's just like I'm already dejected. And at this point, this is basically solidified me not working with anyone in an easy way. I'm gonna be as difficult as I fucking can, because someone spilled soap on my pants and they shouldn't have to. Like it wasn't even an accident. They were trying to do it. Like they were squirting air in my face. It was stupid. I'm lucky I didn't get in my eye for Christ's sake. It was like under my glasses too, because it was like up my nose. So I could have gotten my eye. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably exaggerating that last part. I'm still angry about it. And so yeah, it's just me being stupid. But like I was like unreasonably pissed off that in my head it all makes sense because I was already dejected and all that. So that happens. We I do the commercial. It's fine. They have me speak Spanish, which I can't do. I can understand Spanish pretty easily. I can even read it to a certain degree. I can't say it. I got a really bad tongue for it. I just cannot pronounce words, and whenever I can't do that, I just get dejected again, and just I don't even want to try attempt sentences. It's just that bad. But I do it. I speak Spanish, and it's fine. We have the most boring thing in the thing because the most boring commercial, the four that were actually done, because they had personality of a wet bag of gravel. Oh my god. Anyways, after that, you know, at the end of this day, okay, we get pizza and whatnot, and they say, "Oh, we're having our own like summer camp thing at the station for 4 days, where you get to make something. It's production you. You get to learn all the cool stuff and whatnot." So I signed up because I thought, well, I'm gonna make YouTube soon if I ever, and if school doesn't, bend me over a barrel and I actually get motivated to write scripts again because I say I'm a writer, I'm not writing at all, which just makes me feel really shitty. So I decided this is gonna get me into the swing of things, get me to learn and whatnot. I already took digital media production in school as an elective, so might as well do it in the last days of summer because I don't appreciate my time. So I sign up for it. They say like, oh, it's gonna be like a fishbowl thing. You get picked at random, and so I wait and wait. I basically forget about it, and then like I get an email saying like, hey, you're in, and like, oh, sweet. Oh my god, what happened to my fucking energy? What happened to my emotion? This is the dog days of summer, all right. I'm just dead. Like I don't care anymore. I don't know why. I'm not even depressed. I just went up and did it, and like, my god, what is wrong with me? Okay, so I do the thing. Okay, I go up there. Like I'm expecting like a big old group. Okay, because the email like, oh, the production you. It's gonna be a lot of people like Faith Foundation. You know what? Apparently, there's supposed to be 5 people. Like only 5 people, and like that's kind of strange. But then I realized like, oh, maybe they want like one small project, and so they kind of have it really condensed, and that's why it's like a fishbowl thing. So I get there, expecting some new people. Literally again, a group of 3 other girls who all know each other from Faye Foundation. I'm in the same situation as I was before. And even then, one of them was from the group from the first PBS trip. Something like, oh crap. And when I was that 5th person, yeah, that person never showed up at all during the entire trip. They just didn't show up. So already a man down, and probably a person I would have known from Faith Foundation. So I was like, oh well, this is great, wonderful. I'm not dejected yet, I get there, super early. It's the same time as the Faith Foundation thing, so my dad already knows the drill. I just drive down to Bethlehem, drop me off at the station. It's like there's like a little area. It's giant, not collapse, but condemned, not condemned, shut down steelworks, and like around that is like a community center, like bands play. They have a music fest. They during the World Cup you can watch games there, and they have like a movie theater and a PBS station and some other places. So that's like a whole area of like community stuff. And so when they drop me off there, my father drops me off, signs all the papers and whatnot, and I see all these people, all these curious people already know, and they already know I'm weird. So it's not the persona's established. Okay, it's not like the people from the other side of the group. Okay, it's fine. And so they have like in the front room they have like a public boardroom, like it's all glass and whatnot that looks outside and like glass doors and whatnot. Normal boardroom. So we sit there, waiting for the person that like apparently everyone forgot we went here before for Faith Foundation. Like that, everyone's seeing it like as a new thing. Like when the person who comes up, I forget his name, but when he comes up and like introduces all of us, like he's like the head honcho. We didn't interact with him. We interacted with him a little bit in the first like go around for Faye, but like he's like our main handler basically. He's gonna like walk us through it. Like he's like our main guy there at PBS. Like he did a documentary for them and whatnot, and so he knows what he's gonna do. Like he knows he works there. He's a complete legitimate person. Okay, he's legit. So he sits us down in the boardroom, and also along with him, we have like a guy coming down from college, from Delaware. He was from, and he was a cool guy. He was a guy first of all, so that immediately like gave me that sandwich. He was like, I can't be surrounded by girls again. I already went through this same thing in the same place. I need another guy. And he was chill and cool, and so I really liked him. I didn't have a problem with the girls just because they're girls. Okay, don't get it twisted. Okay, I just felt like I had nothing to communicate because these girls already knew each other. Like they were talking about makeup and boys and stuff. I'm not making that up. That's like them when I was there. That's the majority of their conversation. Okay, they're talking about boys and makeup. Like I got nothing with these people. Okay, it doesn't help that they're women. Even if they were guys, I probably wouldn't have anything to talk about them. It's even worse that they're women and talking about actual girl stuff. I don't talk about normal people stuff. Oh god. So yeah, it's nice to have someone to relate to, and another reporter that came in once in a while. So basically, what we did was we basically took another tour of the group. Everyone forgot we took the tour of the thing. Like they forgot where everything was. It's like I was the one who remembered. It's like, what's wrong with you people? I am such an a-hole with these people. Jesus Christ, why is anyone friends with me? Oh my god. Anyways, we take another tour, but we actually go upstairs. Like the bottom floor is like all the production stuff, and the upstairs is like head honcho stuff. Downstairs they have the editor bays. They have the studios, they have the camera equipment, all that. Upstairs is like where the big wigs make the big bucks and the big deals and the big, I don't know, sexual harassment claims. I don't know. Things happen upstairs. And so we go down. We go take another tour of the entire area this time, and basically what he says is we're gonna break down into 4 roles. Now he said it was gonna be journalist, producer, journalist, cinematographer, just cameraman, and editor. 4 roles. Now, remember we're missing a 5th person here. I ask why is there only 4 roles? Should be a 5th person? He basically says, well, we're gonna have 2 editors because that take. We're gonna have like 2 editors because they're gonna take the most time. We're also gonna do supposed to do like 2 stories, okay? 2 stories. One about the Banana Factory, which is like basically an artist studio open to the public. Like some artists, go to work there, and also have a bunch of community events for like younger children up to teenagers and whatnot. So that sort of thing. Also a cafe that like helps people. I completely forget what people it helps. I think it was like people with mental disabilities. I think like cafe completely run by those by people with mental disabilities, or like I want to say like convicts. I don't know. It may sound like it was convicts, but I think it was like people with mental disabilities. I think. I don't know. A cafe that helps special people in a not so good deck of hand, not so good hand in the deck of cards. Okay, deck in the hand. Oh my god, my brain. People who are different than normal people, I guess. Though that makes them sound is accurate. Okay, don't people. Cafe with special people. There we go. I said it. Jesus Christ. So we're gonna do 2 stories, and we're supposed to have 2 editors that supposed to do the 2 stories. Like one that works on one and works on the other, and gonna learn. That sort of stuff. So it's but we don't have that. So basically, it's just basically a toss up between what forward we want. Now we sit in like a line in like the side of the table because it's a big table, and so basically I get the short end of the stick because I'm last. Like it starts from his right to his left, so I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna get stuck. I wanted to be a cinematographer, either cinematographer or editor, because I don't want to write something. Now I always say on the show, I'm a writer. I know that I'm gonna write books and such. I'm gonna write screenplays. I'm gonna be big old Hollywood. I'm gonna molest someone. I don't know, but writers normally do. And so I don't want to do that. Why? Because I already know kind of what I'm taking creative writing classes. I've done this before. I don't want to learn how to write something, which I probably already know the basics of. It's just gonna be a matter of me improving on what I already know by doing it, which I'm trying to do. There's really no learning for me there. And also, producers like that's like journalists who writes all the stuff. Producer's just the one who has the final say, and that seems boring. Like she just comes up with like what happened, how it funneled down. Like she basically would call the final shots and whatnot. Like we would all get like a vote to her, but she made the final decision. It was very clearly I would not be a good person of, because these people, I'm not like these people, so I have very different ideas. And so that would have been immediate conflict. I didn't see it at that point, but I'm glad that that it didn't pan out that way while I was a producer. That would have been terrible. Eventually, first people get, producer and reporter, which is fine. I don't care about the writing. I just gotta film it. The person before me, the girl, takes camera. And so I thought, well, crap. I audibly say like, "Aww," like I audibly whine and like, and so I just make a sad face and like go my head down the table and like everyone laughs. So like, well, I'm guess I'm stuck with editor. Like I'm not gonna complain. Like I'm not gonna make a big fuss about it. It's fine. Like it was weird because like I worked with this person before. Like I said in the beginning of the Faith Foundation thing, we had like a second round of interviews after we sent out like a paper about ourselves, and like we had a group project where we had to do like a impromptu, basically story of the person you partner with. And I was partnered with this person from that Faith Foundation second interview. This is the person I did my interview with and who interviewed me. And so like she already knows what I'm about. And so she basically vouches for me saying like you should be producer. You know what you're gonna do. Like in that thing I was like funny and like everyone liked mine. And I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think like it was like godly or whatnot, but it was pretty good for what it was. And so like and everyone saw like with our Faith Foundation like business interview, we did like when we were in the college, we did fake business things, and I had the idea of making a fake commercial. It was terrible, but it was funny, and so it was terribly funny, and so like everyone saw that because we were the last ones to go up. The way we did that is like everyone like in like basically the auditorium of the college, and basically we didn't see, we couldn't like go up and see like at once before you had to go up, and we were the last ones to go. So everyone was there just waiting to see this terrible video I made, which is awful. So like and like so they all knew and it was memorable. They all remembered it. So they all remembered like me doing that. Like I said, I wrote and directed it because I said that while also groaning about like why did I do this. But they remember that. So they all like basically they all like the journalists, the two people who did the journalist and the producer go to me and say like why don't you do producer because you're good at this, you like doing that. And I told them like I don't want to do it because first of all she said she wanted to be in like a producer role when like we were introducing ourselves, mainly to the guy because we already knew each other, but like we had to do the whole round busing, this is what we do and whatnot. And so they're basically saying, she said it in that part, so it's like I want to be a producer in the future, like learn how to do that and whatnot. And so this is what the role she wants, and she's trying to pass it on to me because she doesn't accept the responsibility. And it's like you're Spider-Man basically, you be Spider-Man. I don't actually call her Spider-Man, just to make that clear, but she's basically Spider-Man in the situation. Great power, great responsibility, own to your actions and whatnot. So I'm telling her to be Spider-Man, and she takes it, and so I get editor. Basically, after that, we break up into two camps. Like I believe we go into like this the second studio they have, which is like has a bunch of sets already for like stuff. And basically, the main guy sends the producer and the reporter. They're like a pair. Me and the cameraman are like a pair, basically. Like we technical and then like on screen and like writing stuff. So basically, the writing group goes off to like learn from a report or whatnot. I don't know what they did. Like, gonna read some stuff about what to do and whatnot. And like we're stuck in the studio, and basically, hold on, oh, God, I don't know why I'm getting gas all of a sudden, getting gassy. Anyways, so we're in this like little studio, and basically what they do is they plop a camera in front of us, and they have lights. They plop this like actual legit camera that they use to shoot their own actual stuff. They plop it in front of us with a stand and the lights and say, okay, let's figure this out. And so basically he walks through the entire process, him and the college guy. I don't know where the other two writing people went. They just kind of left them to fuck off. And so like we basically learned how to set up the camera, all the knobs and doodads and whatnot. And like lighting, and first of all lighting on the camera settings in the actual lighting area. We could learn all of that, how to set up the audio, like what to check for and whatnot. The whole technicals thing. And basically, what happens? We just fool around with it for a little while, screwing with the knobs, seeing what happens, filming other stuff around the studio, figuring out like learning like the rule of three stuff, and like just basic sort of camera tricks, like get a wide, a medium, and close up for like basically a wide, medium, close up with the same thing you want to shoot, just so that way you have it. So if you want to like, if you film something good, you have a wide, which is basically an establishment shot, and also then a close up, which is like great detail. Actually, before that, I should mention before that we were like doing like reading on the, they have like already this thing is going on for like a few years. They have like a website about like all the roles and whatnot. And they have people who actually work at PBS station with those roles, like do a short video explaining what they do and whatnot. And he asked us like, what do we like watch and like consume in like film media? And I'm the first one to go. I raised my hand immediately and say Buster Keaton, because as you haven't already noticed, I'm a nerd for Buster Keaton. And so I thought, it was like film worthy. It's like, oh, that's great. Like he says, like they show that in like college and whatnot. And someone's here. I'm gonna pause, and I'm back. So, right, fiddling with a camera on PBS stores on PBS stations dime. So we do that and whatnot, and I'm camera person's doing cameras. I'm supposed to like we basically break it up into like I'm doing both. Like I'm supposed to do lighting the first, like A roll and B roll basically. Like the camera person is gonna film like the interviews we're gonna do with the people, and I'm gonna go back and the locations and like film B roll, which is basically like the surroundings. What happened to my voice all of a sudden? Jesus Christ, that's probably sounded bad, but I'm not gonna fix it because I don't care. So yeah, I do that. I film B-roll, and that's basically what our jobs are. Okay, when you learn how to do the camera, we're gonna learn B-roll, all the basics and whatnot. Right. Wait, actually, oh yeah, I was talking about what we did. So I'm filming. I go to the person and say I watched Buzz Keaton. So like, oh, that's like what college professors show when you learn like staging and whatnot. He's like, what he's doing basically is going through like clips of what we say we watch, and like saying like, oh, like how does the camera move, like what's the positioning, like is this a wide, medium, or close up, and like trying to break it down like from a technical standpoint, and showing us like what he actually means when it comes to filming. He's telling us to all of us before you even fill with the camera, like this is what he's just doing, because it's just general information that's probably good for people. So like that's that's just what he's showing. I say Buzz Keaton. The girl next to me says Korean drama. So not a step down, but a very wide sidestep. And like we're thrown off by everyone's thrown off like what that you mean? I asked like, do you mean like that K-pop stuff, those music videos that like are super over dramatic and like not making sense? Those ones that I it's like no, like actual Korean dramas, which I assume are like just normal dramas, but in Korean. Like they have this normal drama in America, but like with Korean issues, like I don't know, work. They work themselves to death in that area, or I don't know, freaking internet. I don't know what Korean dramas are about, but they just have it. And so the guy picks up, a shot from just a random. Like she knows one by name, both in English and in Korean. And like this girl, this girl. First, okay, let me just say this: she does not look Korean, and she's not Korean, but apparently she knows Korean, and she goes to like a Korean church. I don't even know what those. That was a joke in 21 Jump Street. Like a Korean, like remember Korean Jesus from 21 Jump Street? That was a joke, but apparently it's a real thing. I don't know. I have to just go to a Korean church. So they go to a Korean church and like knows Korean, and like that's cool. I mean, I don't know Spanish, and I was raised by the entire life, so like I'm not knocking her down for that. Like I can't know the language I was born with, so like I'm trying to knock her down for that. That's cool. But yeah, she knows Korean. That goes to Korean drama. And the other person recommends Divergent. And when I hear that name, I spasm violently in the chest, like I'm having cardiac arrest, because I actually sat through a movie of that. I believe it was the first one, and it's terrible. It's a genuine terrible thing. And everyone's like, "Oh, I know Divergent," and I literally gasp out into pain, like audibly, and just go like, "Oh my god, I hate that." I hate the books. I hate the movies. And I say it there, like this is bad. But he goes like the trailer, and it's like, oh, because the trailer is always the best part of the movies because they don't show the people actually talking and expressing ideas because those are all terrible. Because it's a bad movie and a bad book series. So he breaks that down, and the other person, like the last person, says something that I don't remember and that I don't care about anymore because it's bad. But yeah, we did that, and break down the roles, and like afterwards, we just fiddle with a camera for a while. Actually, a funny thing that after we filled the camera, we're there for like 4 hours, like every day. It's like it's a 4 hour from 9:30 to 2:30. So yeah, no 3 hours. Is it? We're there for an extended amount of time, like school, not school at all. We're there for a time, a place, and so we do that. And I'm at like the end of it when before we go home, we all get together again in the same studio and like we're gonna film this the college kid. Uh, Actually, it's funny I don't remember his name because I'm during we're having like basic like like impromptu interview with him just to see like we can get like the audio right and they can like think on their feet with questions. And we keep mixing up his name. I think Cole or Adam gets like I think it's Adam. His name is Adam or Cole or something like that. Like probably like nothing like else. Like there's probably not even either of those. And like we get like we joke how they don't mix it up. And so we go through the interview and and like they're just like asking around, asking like random questions. One of the girls opens with the question, "So what drives you in life?" And like the guy's like immediately like, what? And I was like asking, like I was like then like asking about like the kettle chip for eating, dude. I don't think he even knows. He's in college for Christ's sake. He just doesn't have a job yet. Like, give him a softball. Like, roll him something, dude. That's a bit deep, but it's funny. And then like after that, we're doing a stand up, and stand up is basically when those reporters like introduce a story. Like how reporters are like always like outside a shop that like like has a really good cake or whatnot. That's called a stand up when they stand up and just introduce the story basically or like interrupt it in between. And so they're doing that and they're having really trouble. First of all, they can't even remember the guy's name, which is bad. But basically, after we do the mock interview, we have to do a stand up introducing the story. Like that's a good like test of like can you think on your feet? And so like a stand up basically should be like a few sentences long. If possible, just one sentence. Because it's hard to remember things when staring into a camera. Like it's very hard, apparently, especially with these girls. Like they can't remember anything they're gonna say, and we have to work through that. And basically, we get into a sentence. Like everyone goes up and tries it, and they fail repeatedly. And I'm making fun of them the entire way because I'm the guy who's like listening and recording all of it, and so I'm making fun of them because that's the kind of person I am. They're all laughing and whatnot. I'm like, why don't you do it? And I go up there, I get mic'd up, I know how to set it up, and I can do it myself now. Thank you, PBS. And I do it in one take, and I basically dropped the mic, and I said, "There, Michael or Adam or Cole, whatever your name is." I couldn't even remember his name. I couldn't even make fun of him for that. He's like Michael, whatever. I literally say Michael, Adam, whatever we're calling you, and like he just looks dejected and sad. Like we all laugh. So yeah, we did that, and after that, next day, we find out that the cafe cancels on us because the person just canceled the interview, so we have nothing to do with them. So we're gonna focus on the banana factory, the art place. We're gonna do that, and we go there. We film 3 interviews, and like the can't and like first of all, there's a yeah. I'm gonna have to admire like this is like later in the story when I figure this out, but like whenever you see something like 2 minutes long or like 5 minutes long even of just like some news, you don't really realize how much they actually record and how much they cut it out. Like I recorded like 3 interviews, and the main interview we had was the only one that made it in. We didn't include any other interview. We had like 2 of them that like decently. We had like 3 questions, and I actually went on and on about. So like we actually did have a bunch of stuff that we just didn't use, and like you don't realize how much of filming you have to make something seem good. Like, and that was my job. So after we did the interviews, the next day we realized the person who working the actual camera person didn't do the freaking knob. Like on the side of the camera, there's like a knob that like controls the audio, and she freaking put it down. She had the audio knob down, and so it was just recording out of the actual camera microphone, which sounds terrible. And like she couldn't hear it. Like afterwards, afterwards, I'm busting her balls about it, and like afterwards, like she's listening into yeah, she has headphones. I don't know how she didn't realize it. Like so, we're listening in and whatnot, and like I assume she had it for the entire 3 interviews. She had it like that, and like when we finally like turned the knob on, and like when you had the lavalier mic, and she was listening to that, she was like, "Oh, that actually does sound distant." It's like, what were you hearing? What were you hearing? Like, I get it. She like didn't know about the camera stuff, and like it was new. First off, she got everything the day after, which annoyed me. I can't really blame her. She probably has life. Apparently she has a job and a life to go after. She goes to Korean church after all. She clearly has a life after me, so I don't blame her for forgetting. I just got frustrated. I kind of got frustrated, kind of like I am paying attention. I feel like I'm the one paying attention because I remember that we did a tour. I remember everything. Like she remembers nothing, and I get frustrated. Probably needlessly, probably like an a-hole, which is like my mo. And so we do all that again. We go back second day, which I'm supposed to film. I am we refilmed the main interview again, just the main interview. We don't. The other 2 were probably already messed up, probably to be honest. So he didn't say it, but they probably were. She didn't realize the knob was there. She didn't realize the freaking we're using the lavalier mic. So yeah, we record that interview, and then afterwards, I basically get dumped off. I get left there with me and the college boy. And basically, what we do is I have to go around filming random stuff like classes and whatnot. I film like a woman who has a giant quilt. She sews like quilts and stuff like that from like random materials, which is really cool. I film like a bunch of artwork they have hanging around. I film like kids drawing. I film like pottery class. Now, the thing you don't realize is how much you need to film. First of all, it takes a lot of time to set up something. I assume like when you get used to it, like when you work for there for 20 years, you can immediately like set something up, like lighting and whatnot. Because the way the lighting works in real cameras is that they have like zebra stripes. And the thing is like if you want only like some zebra stripes, like this that basically decides like what's like exposed. Like underexposed is like too dark, overexposed is too bright. You want some zebra stripes, like some things to be brighter than others. That's just how naturally the eye sees things. So you don't want like a lot of zebra stripes and too much zebra stripes. And so we do all that. That takes a while to set up, and also like you keep moving the camera around, which is heavy. And also like it has to be like the you unscrew like the bottom piece of the stand, and it has like a little bubble on it because the camera needs to be like center and upright. Because if you don't, it looks crooked. So you have to do that, and also you have to focus it. and like you have to get the wide, and sometimes for the wide you have to move back and then move up for the medium and then move up even closer to zoom in because the zoom in doesn't work well with the close up. You just have to be wary that I didn't realize about reflections in mirrors because a lot of these things are in glass cases, which has really bad reflection issues. So we can't use that. That was a mistake I made. So I can't be too bad. I can't be too hard on her because I made a dumb mistake as well. I did and also you don't realize like you move like the guy put it the best. You used to taking pictures for so many things like just snap and go like so quick. With filming, you have to record a solid 10 seconds of something for it to be basically usable. Like when I mean 10 seconds, I mean 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. That doesn't feel long. Doesn't that feel really long? It needs to be long. Like we're so not used to taking like the shortest thing. Like when 10 seconds seems really long to our millennial short attention spans that we can't even focus in on something for 10 seconds. And I was guilty of it. And so basically, I had that's an issue right now. So you had to record something for like 10 whole seconds, which feels terrible. Like you just standing looking at a thing that's not moving, which feels weird. But in the recording bay afterwards, when you're like looking through all the clips of what you recorded and like things you can use, you realize how much those 10 seconds actually matter. Like you can't just go cut and run. Like look at something for like 3 seconds and say cut and run. Because I was kind of like panicking because we have time, a lot of time wasted talking to the lady. Because she knew something from SNL, and like the college guy, wanted to work at SNL one day, and like I had a conversation. I was recording all the stuff, and like it's taking pretty much a lot of time. And so I was still figuring out like the lighting situation would look good and what didn't, because you can't really tell from like camera, like the little screen. It just has a zebra stripe, so you don't know what looks good and what doesn't look good. So I would keep guessing that, keep fiddling with it. And then I'm thinking like I'm getting enough footage for this, and like just a second of footage, and then it's not. I realized like, oh god, it's terrible. So I'm going around all day carrying that stuff around, filming outside eventually, and I'm panning to certain things like filming kids and whatnot. That sounds so wrong. I do all that, we get back, and afterwards and at the end of it, we go to basically the editing bay, and I'm basically I say editing. It was supposed to be my job. Everyone else did it but me. How it panned out is basically the people when I was busy, doing all that sort of, B-roll stuff, they were still back at the station, and what they were doing is like they were plotting out like what questions leave in and like the structure of the story and whatnot, and like just I feel bad for editors because their job is so important yet so bloody boring to explain. Like it's just not fun to explain at all, but they have to do it. I feel bad. Just thinking about it makes me depressed, to be honest. But so yeah, they're basically everyone else. I'm just there with the college friend, like I said before. So everyone else has already decided what to edit in, and like what gets in or not. So my job is mute. I'm just there to capture B-roll. Like everyone could have gotten an editing credit basically. And so when I get back there and give them like the SD card, we have to choose music and whatnot. And this is what I found weird about the entire thing. It's like apparently, like I'm really good at choosing documentary music. Like I'm the first one. Like basically the entire project was like 2 minutes long, and we had just a little a few questions and whatnot, and like we'd do all the action shots and whatnot. And so basically we didn't need two. Basically, he said pick 3 music tracks, and we'll pick out of the two whatnot. And so I picked like a a jazzy, gypsy thing, not ragtime, but that sort of genre music. Like it's jazz, but like really upbeat. And it was like it literally said gypsy stuff, and like it was really high tempo and whatnot. I thought, oh, that could be like good in like light music, because the first part is like explaining like oh artist work here, and like the second part is like emotional in quotes, like I'm a confidence building, and like there are no mistakes in art and whatnot. So I picked that for like oh that could be making a good first bit. The second track I don't really the second track is like a meant for documentary thing, like soft piano and whatnot. like that sort of thing, like, building up in space easily and whatnot. And the other thing was a weird one. It was like a track that had a lot of, it like had maracas and like a lot of drops and a guitar at one point. It was like really, it was a strange track. First of all, it was called "Somebody Stole My Apple," which immediately drew my eye. And like, well, like I'm gonna listen to it as a joke and like move on. Then listen to it, it's like it feels weird, like because I know we're gonna be like cutting it and like going to action and whatnot. So I'm thinking like these weird like spaces, we can easily like cut to one thing and then be not it's not like it's cutting. You don't have to wait for like a space in the song because the songs are like made of like really specific chunks of different types of music and stuff. So like we can like go to like a guitar for like the interview and like it can easily cut to like a maraca section that's in the song. And so I do that, and I show it to the people. Everyone likes the songs I picked, but first of all, the Someone Stole My Apple gets dropped immediately, which I expected immediately. They drop Somebody Stole My Apple. That apple has gotten no justice so far. Apple has gone unavenged. But the producer doesn't like the Gypsy track. That sounds really rude. They didn't pick the Gypsy track because the Gypsies are doing mysticism and whatnot. Anyways. So basically, I drop that. I go down and pick 5 different music tracks, 5 different ones, because I realized like the guy even compliments me. He says like, Brian, yeah, I'll go to the producer like maybe you should pick it out. But then the producer says like, Brian has actually a good ear for this sort of thing, so maybe you just pick out more. So I picked out like 7, and then the producer came in when they were like doing the final edit, which by the way, the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. Like we didn't even do much editing. Like the guy just sat at a computer and we just told him what to put in and what to put out and like what to use. That's basically what we contributed. We didn't use any actual technical like laptop shortcuts and like learning how to audio and whatnot. We didn't do anything of that. We didn't do anything of that. We just did it. We just told him what to put in and they did. So, but my job as editor was contributing music. And so I picked 7. We listened to it all. We picked 3, narrowed it down to 1, and then it was fine. We did it. We left with a technically unfinished product. Like he said, he would just finish up all the rough cuts, make everything more smooth, color grade it, and all that stuff we really should have learned. But he even said to himself, learning how to edit in practically 2 days is impossible. But yeah, we did it, and it was fun, and I learned a really valuable lesson in that editing is hard, filming is hard, and I have a much bigger appreciation for PBS now. Because they produce a lot of stuff, and most of it's pretty good, actually. Most of it's fun, and it's a fun environment, and I genuinely hope that one day, like in college, I get to intern like the guy in the thing and like just work with it. Because it's a very fun. I hope to like on the weekends during the school year, I hope to like volunteer. Because like I want to do like a violent mob story, but like just it doesn't even matter what topic. Just learning that stuff and like getting to the rhythm is like what writing and basically what creation is all about. Is just discipline, and that's such a great place, and I have such a fun time about it. And that's really the only way you can get better is just doing it over and over again until you get good. Like, of course, you can have like natural talent or whatnot, but like if you don't apply it over and over again, then you might as well not have it in the first place. And so like that was really great, and it was just a wonderful experience. Learning the camera tricks, learning how to film, learning from my mistakes, timing and whatnot, and just learning that I actually have a good ear for music apparently, which is nice to hear, I guess. Pun intended. And so yeah, that was fun and made me more both scared and confident in shooting my short film in the future when I eventually shoot it, because I know I will. And yeah, it was a fun experience, and I hope to go back there again. I think that's a good place to end on, actually. 59 minutes. Yeah, that was the Dabble and Babble podcast. This has been Brian Avila Salazar. I signing out.